What's up, guys? It's currently like you can't see that, like 6:40. I fly out today at I think 11. I'm gonna hop in the shower and then I'm gonna pack up last minute stuff, and then I will see you after the shower probably. Alright, so it's like 7:20 now. I'm gonna try to print my boarding pass at the library, and then we should be on our way. Hopefully they take these 2 bags. I'm flying Ryanair and they're weird about their bags, but we'll see. They're also weird about their boarding passes. I have to print it, and I don't have a printer near me, so we'll see how that goes. But day 1.
We getting comfortable in this bitch. It's hard to be alone, it's hard to think about it. My soul is screaming, shouting, my world is peace without it. I need a piece for all the people popping out that barely see-through tinted Chevy, looking at me like a walking lick. I need some fucking patience or a doctor, therapist or martyr. Take the blame for all my problems, that'll help me tone my chakra. Need some people that gon' love me, don't befriend me for the Louis. Being gullible gon' do me in. Y'all can fucking sue me, cause love your bitches booby butts. We gon' make a movie, I'm outrageous, truly mean. I almost got a truancy, but usually I'm lucky. Like some petty shit can't stop me, so I always do shit I mean, I feel like a kid again. Always speak to Navi, and I got over trauma, fuck that shit, I'm going dumb. We all got shit to overcome, so stop yourself from going numb. Hey, let me hold your bun. Sit up on my lap and try to stun the gun. All up in your mouth like a pack of gum. You always make it count when we had to love. Then you made it count, try to fuck with them. Said I'd take you back, but you fucked again. Probably never gonna trust again. Woe is me with that luck again. Probably never gonna love again. Woe with me with that love again. Never gonna fall for lust again. Sleepless nights, ice crusted in. She ain't never really loved a man. Sleepless nights, ice crusted in. She ain't never really loved a man. It's hard to be alone. It's hard to think about it. My soul is screaming, shouting. My world is peace without it. I need a piece for all the people popping out that barely see-through tinted Chevy, looking at me like a walking lick. I need some fucking baby girl.
I'm getting to see you, bro. What's up?
Welcome to the Bop.
Hey, welcome to Bop.
This is just one of my quick little clips.
Hey, dude, how's that beer?
Don't tell Coach I'm drunk.
All right, we made it. It's like 2 now.
3.
3? Oh yeah, it's an hour ahead of me in London. So it's like 3. He has to leave soon to go to the museum. But we're gonna split this beer first.
We're gonna get hammered.
Oh my god, don't tell Coach. I drank 2 sips. I'm fucked. And then we're probably gonna lift and then go out tonight. So I don't know if I'll vlog it.
Yeah, but everyone's gotta do it. Fuck, dude, I have a lot of work.
When? Do when?
Next week.
Oh, fuck it then.
Fuck with
I actually have to do a paper while I'm here.
Oh, we can find some sick little cafes, bruh.
Do a little
Hygge.
paper action.
You know what hygge is?
Hookah?
Hygge? It's a Danish thing.
I know what
It's like a
hookah
word.
is.
Yeah, it's just a word that means like cozy and like nice and like relaxed, like chilled out. It's a Danish word. It's like what they live by.
I'm straight up gonna chill out.
Hygge.
But yeah, we're gonna split this. He's gonna leave soon, and then I'll probably do a little bit of vlogging in his place, but we'll see. Alright, so we have made it. It was a little bit of a struggle, but we got here, and now I'll just give you a quick tour. Front door, you walk in. Got some jackets, you got this. Bathroom door doesn't shut, I guess, but that's the bathroom in there. You got a kind of living area, I guess. Full mirror. Window. Little kitchen area, which is pretty sick. I wish I had that in my place. And then the bedroom, which is fucking massive, actually. I'm fucking jealous. But yeah, that's, we made it here. We're gonna wait for Dane to get back from his museum trip with his class, and then I think we're gonna go lift with his cousin here. Heard the gym's decent, so that'll be good. And then I think we might go out. I don't know how much more I'm gonna vlog today. Probably when Dan gets back, I'll vlog a little bit more. I do have to tell you about my morning with the airport though, because that was fucked up. Just wanted to give you a quick little tour. It's fucking sick, actually. I wish my place was this big. Alright, story time. So you saw, I was gonna make like a way bigger like traveling edit and make it all nice, whatever. But my morning did not go as planned. Pretty much everything went wrong. So basically, get up, you guys saw me, took a shower, got all my things together, all fine, whatever. And then I went, so I just like looked at my boarding pass, whatever, just to like see if there's anything I missed, whatever. And basically it said like that I forgot, like I didn't really read at first because it was like a mobile boarding pass. It was like, oh yeah, like if you're non-EU citizen, so I'm American, I use my American passport, we don't allow like mobile tickets, like you have to print it. And I don't have a printer. I mean, my library does, so I was like, okay, like I left and I went to the library before I like actually left just to see if I could print it real quick. Scanned my ID for at like the printer, and it like basically said I didn't exist. I've been going to that school for 3 months now. Basically, terrible time, just like wasted 20-30 minutes out of leaving, so I'm finally like, okay, let's just leave. Like I can't print it, hopefully I can get it printed at the place. And so I basically had to take the tube to a train station and then take the train to the airport. Pretty straightforward. But like I don't have data. Like I don't have a data plan, so basically like when I have Wi-Fi, like I screenshot my directions and then I just base it off of that. So like if I get lost, like I pretty much just have to find my way out, which is like a good and a bad thing. Like obviously it sucks if you get lost, but it's made me like actually figure out where I'm going based off like street names and things like that, so it's been fine. But I get there and I get to the train station, like tube was no problem. I get to this train station, I get on, I'm like, alright, like it's going in the right direction, whatever. Like I missed I missed just by a little bit one train that was coming, and it was like, oh, train number 2. And I was like, kind of looking at the signs, but not really like the big electronic signs, and so I was like, oh, train number 2 is going to the same place. It's going like the same direction. Like obviously it's gonna get me to the airport shuttles. Well, I get on train number 2 and I'm riding it, and I was like, okay, well, I think it was like 4 stops I needed to ride and then I should get off. We got to the 4th stop and it wasn't the airport parkway, so I was like, fuck, like where am I going? And I was like, it said 4 stops. It said 3 stops. But the 3rd stop wasn't the parkway either. So I'm like, oh my god, I got on the wrong train. And like, this train that I got on terminated before the airport, because the other train that I was supposed to get on that was like coming like 8 minutes later or something, that I just was being impatient about and just hopped on the first train. It was like an express, so it didn't stop at all the stops in between where I was and the airport. So I was like, alright. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I keep getting up and I'm like looking up the signs like, oh,
I am fucking missing my flight.
Because keep in mind, I still have to like get it printed and like there's a bunch of stuff in my bags, you know, just wait. So I get off where it terminates in the city and I'm waiting there and I'm like, fuck, okay. So I find a sign and I'm like, when's the next train going? And when is it going to like Luton Airport Parkway? And finally like a train that came like 10 minutes later was going. I was like, okay, fine. Like I should have already been at the airport at this point. Like I took a super long way because it stopped at like 7 stops before we got to this like major stop that then took me to the airport. So I'm just getting wrecked right now. I get on this train. We start going, everything's fine. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, like shouldn't be that bad. And the train just stops. And I'm sitting there, like 30 seconds go by, a minute, I'm like, okay, like we'll start up. 5 minutes, easy, 5-10 minutes. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss my flight. That's it. I'm missing my flight. Not going on this trip. Not going to Copenhagen. I don't really have the money to spare to buy more fucking tickets, you know. And so the driver comes on like 3 minutes later after that reaction. Driver comes on. He's like, yeah, we're just being held like at a red sign, whatever, like a stop sign basically. Hopefully we like start up shortly. Started up like 4 minutes later. So we're sitting there for like 15 minutes. I'm like, I gotta get to the airport, like come on, like good thing I left early, like to account for like all this stuff in case it happened. But finally get off the train, I get to my destination, I get to the parkway, I'm like, okay, now I gotta walk my way out and find the shuttle and then shuttle me to the airport, it'll be fine. Mind you, I started at Mile End on the tube, so I used my Oyster card. To get to Gatwick, when I went on my trip to Spain a month ago or something, I used my Oyster card the whole way. So I'm like, okay, like, get to the little scanners, I'm like, alright, Oyster card, please seek assistance. Dude comes up to me, he's like, yeah, you're outside of London now, gonna have to charge you for an orange ticket, and maybe like a fee, and I'm sitting there like, dude, like, you obviously can tell, like, I'm a fucking American, like, I don't know what I'm doing, like, can you please just, like, not? He was like, oh, yeah, no, dude, like, you know what, I'll be cool, like, I'll just charge you for the ticket. I'm like, it's like you said, like, literally it was like, I would reenact it, but they are setting traps for that, because there was no place to, like, scan out your Oyster card, from going from the tube to the 2 trains I took. No place to scan out unless you left the actual station. And so, like, how am I supposed to know that I'm supposed to scan out and then buy a ticket at the train station to go on this train? Like, every time I've taken an overground or like a train or something in London, I've used my Oyster card. Obviously, I didn't know Luton London Airport is outside of London. That doesn't fucking make sense to me, but so I get off, I have to 25 pounds for this ticket just to take now the shuttle, which is 3 minutes to the airport. So I'm already like in a bad mood. I'm like, all right, whatever, like, come on. So I'm already in a bad mood. I'm like, oh, all right, like, get to the airport. I'm like speed walking. I'm like, all right, I gotta get in. And it wasn't like that late, but I knew I would have like issues with my boarding pass. I didn't have one basically. I'd have issues with my boarding pass. I'd have issues with my bags. They're like super strict on their bags in Ryanair, I guess, which is just stupid. I've never had a problem with my bags because I just carry 2 backpacks. Like, that'll fit underneath and above. Like, it doesn't matter. But they're like super specific, so I was sketched out about that. I get to the fucking airport, walk all the way down to like visa check-in, bag check-in before I can go through security. And this dude's like, and I get there after, so apparently you're not allowed to print a boarding pass for a traveler 2 hours before, and I got there after the 2 hours because I took so long because I got on the wrong train. And so I'm arguing back and forth with this dude, like, I paid money, like, you're not just gonna print me a fucking boarding pass? You serious, bro? And there's some old dude, and he was like, yeah, okay, like, let me check your bag. And he said bag, so he didn't see my other one. So I just like drop it and catch it like on my foot so it doesn't make a noise along with like a big jacket I had to bring. And he was like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's it. He was like, alright, like, I'll print you this just this time, and then like, your bag seems fine, you can just go. So I had to like, I got my boarding pass, I had to like shimmy without them seeing like my bag, my other one. And so, all fine, now I go through security. And usually like, so far, like, the airport hasn't been too bad. Like, he didn't give me that hard of a time. Like, if I was in the U.S. and I was, like, doing this, being late, like, I would have missed my flight completely. Like, not even a chance. Like, European airports are definitely better, I think, in my opinion. At least the ones I've been to. They're, like, a lot faster, whatever. So I'm going through security. No line, of course. Like, it was sick. And then I'm going through security, and I put all my stuff. I put, like, my shoes, my watch, my phone, my wallet, all in like one, and I put my 2 bags in other 2 bins. push them through, I walk through, everything's fine. I'm sitting there, my 2 bags came out. My bag with a coat that I'm bringing that's not my coat. That, my laptop, my camera that I'm shooting on. All that bin with all that went to like, they need to like search it. I'm like, oh my god, what could possibly be wrong? Like, unless something's, because I didn't really go through the coat, so I don't know if there was something like in the coat. And I was like, oh my god, am I really gonna get wrecked right now? This lady's taking her sweet time with like 3 other people before me. I'm sitting there, I'm like looking at my watch, I'm like, dude, I need to go. I get up, she's like, oh, whose is this? Whose is this? I'm like, oh yeah, it's mine, it's mine. She like scans the bin, so the picture comes up on like what they flagged it for. She's like looking at it, she's like, starts looking closer into the picture, like looking around. I'm like, what could it possibly be? And she just looks up and she goes,
Oh yeah, it's nothing.
it's nothing? Like, you just wasted 25 minutes of my time when I'm already late because they mis-scanned it. Literally, like, the only reason that happened is because everything else has been going wrong this morning. That's the only reason. Like, that rarely happens. At least to me, I've never had that happen where they mis-scan it. If, like, they bring it aside, I forgot to take out food or something like that. Something dumb, or, like, liquids. So, I was just like, are you serious? She goes, yeah, and just, like, kind of tosses me my stuff. I'm like, yo. Fucking throw my stuff on, throw my shoes, I'm hopping, I'm like, oh god. And so I finally, and that was, I get on my flight. The flight was cool. Met up with Dane. He got me on the metro, no problem. So far, since that morning, I've been okay. But that morning was shocking. Like, good thing I always leave like 5 hours before flights, or I would have absolutely missed that flight. I got to my gate, like I boarded. I got up and I pretty much went to boarding and boarded and whatever. So luckily, didn't miss it, didn't have to pay any money, but it was close. It was the closest I've ever been. I don't like airports. I try to leave super early just in case like everything like that happens. And it did this morning. Fucking shocking, but I'm here straight up having a good time now. Gonna get a lift in. Gonna get some fucking brews in tonight. Don't know how much I'll vlog. I'll vlog tomorrow. I don't think Dane has class, but so far that's it. I'm gonna start editing that intro. Like I said, it should have been a lot more, but I was really stressed on my way to the airport, so I did not vlog a lot. Alright, well, that was my story. Almost missed it, and yeah, don't know how much I'll vlog again. I'm not even in focus, but peace!
Begin.